students. Good afternoon, Miss. Welcome to another clothing, textiles, and fashion class. With me, I have a very special guest. We have Miss Rochelle Ford Edward. She will assist me with the lesson today. All right. So please be on your best behavior as usual, and remember that your participation is necessary. All right. Good. So before we get into today's lesson, I would appreciate, or I would like your help to guess the topic. So I'm going to give you some pictures for you to look at to tell me what today's topic is going to be. So take a look at the pictures and help me decide what the lesson is going to be. Remember, we're doing textile, clothing, and fashion. So take a good look at the pictures that you have there and help me decide what the lesson is, or the topic of the lesson is going to be. Any guess?
Miss?
Yes?
Seams?
Seams? Let me write this one down. Now, seams. Any other suggestion? Right. So why do we think it seems? Anybody? Why would you think it seems?
Miss? Because I kind of did this and I think
You think it looks like a seam? Alright, who said stitches? Why do you think it's a stitch? Or the topic is going to be stitches? Or you're seeing stitches on the fabric. Alright. And somebody said embroidery. You want to give us a reason why you said embroidery? So the stitch you have there is an embroidery. Right? Very good. So but today we're going to be looking at seams. So that's the topic for today. Seams. Right? So please make a note of that in your books. So today we're looking at seams. That's the topic for today. Alright? So before we get into the lesson, we need to know what seams are. Alright? So I have another bit of activity here for you to tell me, or for you to help me to come up with a definition for seams. So now that you know that we are doing seams, I have a guide here. I'm going to put this on the board. And we have some missing letters. So I'll give it to you. And then you help me to come up with a definition for seams. So these are the missing words. Take one and pass it on. Alright? And so I have an outline. So together we are going to come up with the definition. So together we're going to come up with the definition for seams. So let's see if we have, so we know seams are what? What are some of the words you have in class there? Forms. Can we say seams are forms? Forms. Alright, so who has the letter? Please come forward with your letter. Alright, so where do you think the word needs to go? Alright, who has another letter? Take a top. Good. stitches, right? And the stitches are what is used to join the seams, right? So seams are formed when two or more pieces of fabric are formed together. So please make a note of this in your books quickly before we move on. Alright, so before we continue, I need to let you know all the things that we'll be covering today in this lesson. So we identify the topic, which is seams. We look at the definition for seams, right? Because we said seams are formed when two or more pieces of fabric are joined together. And then we're going to continue by looking at types of seams. And the last thing that we're going to do today, or for this session, is going to be general rules for working seams. Alright, so those are the subtopics that we're going to be covering in today's lesson. Alright, so let's move on. So I have a PowerPoint to help you to get some knowledge on types of seams. Alright? So give me a minute, let me set it up. And we're going to go through that. And then you have some questions to answer for me. So I will know.
Okay, students, you guys can enter that in the same.
Yes.
Just take it down so we can have the video so you guys can see what the different types of seams, right?
Alright, so we're looking at types of seams, right? So you're going to help me go through the slide to get information on the types of seams. Right? Y'all can read that?
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at the types of seams. What is the first one? Please read for me.
Flat, open, or plate seam. This is a flat seam. It shows no stitching on the right side and is consequently used for which are meant to show us as little as possible. Example, joints in binding, underarm, shoulder, and sleeve seams on clothing of all kinds made in both thin and thick materials.
So this type of seam is flat and it shows little as possible, right? Next one. Look at the next type of seam. So the first type is flat open. The second type is
French seams.
Continue reading for me.
French seams are very useful for underwear, blouses, children's dresses, and most straight seams on fine materials. No raw.
No raw edges are visible. Continue.
No raw edges are visible when the seam is completed, and no stitching shows on the right side of the work. When completed, the press towards the back of the garment.
Next type of seam.
Double stitch seam, sometimes called machine felt, is worked entirely by machine from the right side of the garment. This seam is suitable for both thick and fine lingerie materials, particularly pajamas and underpants, and where a curved seam is required.
Alright, and the last type of seam is
Overlaid seam. It is a seam created when one piece of fabric is laid upon another piece of fabric with an overlap. The fabrics are both right sides up and wrapping the fabric, you end up with 2 layers of fabric instead of up to 4 when using other types of seams.
Alright, thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Alright students, now that you would have went through the information on types of seams, I have some questions for you. How many types of seams are there?
4.
Can you name them for me?
Plain seam.
Plain seam, give me an example of where it is used.
It's used as shoulder sleeves. Giant,
Take your time.
giant shoulder and arm sleeve.
Right, it is used to join under the arms and the shoulders, right? Next, what other type of seam we learned about today? French seam, where is it used or how is it used? Right, it can be found on underwear and blouses. Next type of seam,
Miss double stitch seam.
double stitch seam. Can you tell me where it is used?
Miss on lingerie and pajamas.
Lingerie and pajamas. And which is the last type of seam? Alright, so we've learned that there are 4 types of seam, and you did a good job in identifying the uses or parts of the garment in which it can be used. Now I will hand you over to Miss Rochelle, and she will take you through all of the rest of the lesson.
Okay, students, thank you for giving Miss Andrea your full attention. And I'll now take you over through some rules for working seams. Right? So in everything we do, we must have some guidance or some rule to take us through. So Miss is going to distribute some information here. And I'll ask you guys in a few minutes, take a few minutes, browse through it, and then you guys will summarize for me at least some of the rules for working seams. Okay? So you're going to come up with one paragraph for rules for working seams. Alright, so let's give you there some notes. Read them and then you will summarize those notes there for me into one paragraph. Take your time. Right? Take your time. You go through rules. Right? And you give me a paragraph if you want.
Alright, so what is one of the rules that you can identify here?
The thread that we use must be of suitable color and type for the fabric.
Right? What else?
The width of the seam is determined by the texture of the fabric. The finer the fabric, the narrower the seam.
Good. So you have about 6 rules there, right? So Miss is asking for you to write one paragraph explaining those rules. So if you're going to say the rule 1, and then you say why you're going to do that, why you're going to use that rule, right? Or how is it that you're going to put that into practice? So think about it. You can work in pairs, all right? So discuss with the person next to you,
Right.
and then you will share your response with us when you finish. You have 10 minutes to do that, right?
Okay, students. Let's see who is the first person that will be ready for me to give Miss that summary. Okay, yes, we have a coming from there.
Don't worry. How much minutes you ask? Oh, you can all take. It's your short ones, right?
General rules for working seam. The width of the seam is determined by the texture of the fabric. The finer the fabric, the narrower the seam. Threads used must be of suitable color and type for the fabric. All seams of the same type on a garment or article must be of similar width
want them to what else? To loose, right? What else?
Comfortable, yes.
Comfortable, to last long, and so on. So those are some of the reasons why we need to apply rules when we are doing seams.
Okay, so let's do a little recap, right? Myself and Miss Andrea, when we started the class, we misdistributed some pictures there, is that correct? And from the picture, we have to look at it to come up with what is the topic of the day, is that correct? So from that, we also add the board on the whiteboard with the definition for our seams and misdistributed some of those same words, right? And you guys have to read it and come pluck it or put it in the right space. Is that correct? Okay, when we finished that, we went through the video showing you the different types of seams. Is that correct? Yes. And then at the end, last but not least, Miss give you the rules so you can present it to others in a paragraph form. Is that correct? Great. So now that we know the topic was seams and we know the types of seams and why we should choose which type of seams and so on, right? Miss have a little homework for you guys. Right? So we know what is seams. Can you tell me what the seams?
Seams are formed when two or more pieces of fabric are joined together.
Okay, great. Tell me what are some seams or the types of seams?
Plate seam,
Mhm.
French seam, double stitch seam, overlaid.
Right.
Great. Right? And just give me at least 3 rules quickly.
The thread can be of suitable color and type for the fabric. All seams of the same type on a garment or article must be of similar width. Stiff stitching with correct tension is necessary for good results.
Great.
Very good.
Very good. So now for homework, Miss would like you guys to paste pictures of the uses of the type of seams that you guys learned today, right? So the 4 types of seams that you guys learned,
The
the
base
paste
picture
pictures.
showing us where on the garment it is used. Alright?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So that's your homework. Alright.
Thank you guys for having Miss today. You guys are a great bunch. Alright? Thank you very much.
Class is dismissed.